What up, everybody? This is Am Root, and we are back with another interview for LUV 2021. This time with an awesome person, a part of the brand, a part of my life, one of my very close friends, five-time felon, um, multi candy ball machine, thefter, Kristi Sproul.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the terrible intro. Definitely.
To be expected. I don't know what kind of intro you thought you was gonna get.
No, maybe a resume.
I know, right? She
Like,
graduated from no. You get that from somebody else. This is probably gonna be a different interview than some of the other interviews that we have on stream because I'm a little closer to this guest. You know, she knew me back when I had the neck braids, and
woo,
now my shit banging. So
back when he was selling t-shirts on the beach. You
on the
feel
beach,
me?
candy out here hustling, grinding.
Man, long way.
When they called me Damo.
I'm like, who is Dom and what is this root? The
Hey, you
lies,
feel
the
me?
lies.
It's, the glow up is real, man. The glow up is real. Anyways, love celebration. Obviously, 2020 was a COVID filled year, and we doing things digitally in 2021 in hopes to get things back going in the future. But if you can, just talk to us a little bit about how the COVID life has impacted your life. One, in your career field, and two, just how you've been moving. Last of 2020. So it's kind of recapping your 2020, if you will.
Yeah. So to give myself an introduction, because my best friend has poorly executed on that. But just to give people just a background. So I'm in public health. That's a lot of my training, expertise, and education. And currently I'm working as a senior health educator teaching teens here in Atlanta. And so my journey in the pandemic, panorama, panscriptions, it has been interesting to say the least. Um, I've been trying to find my place within this pandemic as a professional because there's so many questions that people have around COVID and expecting people like myself to kind of just, you know, throw out answers back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I am a civilian within this pandemic too. So outside of my professionalism, I'm within this pandemic. I'm experiencing the roller coasters of the pandemic like everyone else. So I think for me, it was kind of like a double entendre type of experience because I was
Mm-hmm.
like trying to find different places of where I even fit professionally and emotionally. I think it was interestingly bittersweet. I think being an extrovert, it was frustrating at first because I'm like, where are the people? Where are the people? Oh, they're
Right.
inside. We're in a ghetto ass pandemic, you know? But then like taking the time to like look into myself, be more reflective. I think I told you that this is the most I've written in my entire life, actually.
Mm.
Like I've written probably poems like back to back. There were times where I would be up at 1 a.m. writing stuff
Okay.
or just
Okay.
like, just trying to be more creative and realizing that that's a very center piece for me that I've failed to neglect because I've been so busy pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So this pandemic just allowed me to be a lot more reflective and a lot more intuitive and just try to understand where I fit into this crazy world. But I think that was the bitter part. But the sweet part was I took time to plan and execute a lot of things. So I was able to move out of a job that I really did not like in clinical research into a job that I love, which is health education. I was able to apply to a doctorate program. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to like create. I was able to
Okay.
really connect back with my friends.
Stunt.
Like,
Stunt.
like dab on them. Is that still a thing? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
But
think so. But I'm too old to tell people what's a thing or not. You feel
like
me?
they don't Dougie anymore. They don't dab. I'm like, what are the kids doing? I'm confused. Anyway, but I think in the midst of everything, I was like, I still need to be productive in some way because I want to have something to really lean on when all of this is over. Something I could feel like, okay, even out of the pandemic, I've been able to accomplish certain things. And actually talking to a lot of my friends, like it's been like a split. Like some of us, we propelled crazy during the pandemic. Like I worked 3 jobs during the pandemic. I don't know. I was just in this frenzy of like grinding
Okay.
and
Somebody
stacking.
getting money.
I'm saying don't ask for no dollars. I ain't got none.
Oh,
But
I was just about to send a little donation request. You feel me?
no, no, sir, no, sir. Next time. But with that, I've just been able to kind of like be laser focused and really find a way to come out of this with some strength and some strides. So luckily, I was able to do that. But then I had the other half of my friends who was just like, "Yo, I can't go outside," and that in itself is stressful. Or I'm working from home now. That within itself is stressful. Or
Mm-hmm.
now I'm teaching remotely, and they're giving me a whole new platform, and now I have to navigate how to deal with kids online because that's what I'm learning now. Actually, with teaching teens, it's like how do we teach sex ed online? I mean, like we have the little, the condom and the woodies. Like we have to put the condom on the woodies. Like how do you do that online? Like like all these things.
Oh,
Like do
y'all
you have
had
to
that? I ain't had. We
right?
didn't have that.
Like we have to like show the Woody online, like, okay, kids, like it's awkward now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like the pandemic just has things really awkward.
Yeah.
And it's not even on purpose. I think unfortunately our presidency in our past presidency has failed us because a lot of the mechanisms in dealing with this pandemic was proven in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a atrocious president
Mm-hmm.
from 2008 to 2000. No, 2000. When was this? What year are we in? 2000.
You don't even know. 20.
16 to 2020. It was quite
Mm-hmm.
ghetto. Just what we had to experience with that presidency. So,
Yeah.
and I think the structures put in place. A lot of people were mistrusting. A lot of people were misled. We had so many health officials step up. And I feel like even in the public health profession, we still were trying to navigate how we could step up
Mm-hmm.
through messaging, through education, through surveillance, and looking at how the trends are going up and down. Like we really pushed forward in public health as well. So I think there were a lot of strides medically,
Okay.
but I still feel like the public is very, they're just at a disarray right now with everything. So emotionally, mental health wise, the pandemic brought about a lot, not only to me, but like my loved ones, but it also kind of propelled me. So it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of it was a weird catch-22 experience.
Yeah. I've definitely been seeing a lot of skepticism out there in the world. Just because. Excuse me. Just because how information has been put out there, or information has been withheld. People start to either just do research and try to figure out stuff, and they end up clicking links, and they're on YouTube, pretty much going down the rabbit hole of, what could
Yes.
be, or it's pretty
It's the
much there.
conspiracy for me.
Right? No, 100%.
Yeah.
And it just spreads like wildfire, because like, you know, it's not like it's something that people gravitate towards, but it's like kind of those horror shows, like why people watch horror shows, because it's like it kind of plays to this little inner fear inside of them that's going to happen to them, so they just like watching it and like studying, like, the plenty of movies or films or whatever, just like along the case of that. And it's just,
Yeah.
people want the world to be so negative, so when we see
Yes.
things through the lens
It's
of that.
it made me think of when you going through your boyfriend's phone, you always gonna find something you don't want to find.
Right,
Same
100%.
concept. Like you're gonna find things that are
Mm,
gonna either blow your mind or affirm what you already have been thinking this whole time. Like the internet
mm-hmm.
will give you exactly what you're looking for. And I
Right.
think with the pandemic, it did just that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think that all the conspiracists start to come out from the weeds, like, finally, we have a playground. Like, no, no, go back in your hole. Like, nobody asked you to come out. Like, please.
Right.
We don't need y'all. We need facts. We need professionals to really cultivate this messaging, because even with the vaccines rolling out, of course, we know that there's so much mistrust within the
Mm-hmm.
Black and Brown communities with our bodies and how
Mm-hmm.
they've used our bodies, the misleading of research in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
Personally, I got the vaccine. I'm an advocate for the vaccine because I
Mm-hmm.
understand the vaccine processes.
Okay.
But I understand why people could have hesitancies. But even with the pandemic, you have to look at both sides of, if I look at the coin, both sides, right? If I'm not really a fan of the vaccine because of just my preconceived notions or things that I've heard, things I've read, the, Henrietta, etc., like going on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Or you pose a risk of the coronavirus getting stronger, because that's what we're seeing now is what we call variants. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the virus has made little cousins who's made little cousins who's made little cousins. Like we're seeing duplications now of the
Mm-hmm.
virus and how it's trending in different populations within the US.
Yeah.
So corona is only going to get stronger, or you can use a vaccine that could possibly lessen the burden of like an extraction of an entire society full
Mm-hmm.
of COVID positive people. So it's catch 22. I think people have to pick and choose their battles, but I also talked about in like having that professional intuition, like not just intuition, like feeling like in your gut something's right, but like professionally as a public health professional, I feel like this is the right thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've spent so much time not only researching this for myself, but just seeing the pros and cons. So I don't know. I think people should have a way of reading things, but also using the discernment that they have within them to really make the right decisions for them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you heard it
Yeah.
here first, folks. We have a black woman who did receive the vaccine. She is still
I
alive,
have
and she
no
is
extra
advocating for
limbs.
more people to get the vaccine.
I have
Tom
no
Flag,
extra
Rudy
limbs. I
Minds
have no
News.
sixth toe. My hair is still big. My head is still bigger. Like everything is still in alignment. We're good over here. Okay, guys, it's gonna be okay.
Okay, okay. Well, let's transition a bit here from vaccine talk into this art thing, because love is really,
Yeah.
I mean, we vent about everything. Love, LUV, isn't just about LOVE, but it's about, venting and just really being able to get things off your chest. And oftentimes being in a space of I feel like, healthcare and, with your faith and, and then also just what's going on in the world, I feel like you need these outlets to just be able to, create. So if you can just talk to us a little bit about like, what you like to do creatively and how you've been finding balance or not finding balance, like flexing that creative muscle and balancing that what you've been doing in the in the professional space.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to shout you out for just a second, but don't let your head fill up that whole
Hey,
room.
you already
Okay. This
know
is
I take those
right.
shout outs.
This is just a un momento. Okay. But I definitely want to acknowledge you because I feel like I've always been able to actually vent to you when it comes to wanting to be an artist, but being locked into not even locked, but like it's like a lock where I know where the key is at, but I don't want to use it. It's like one of
Mm-hmm.
those locks where it's like I can still be flexible, but I have this draw toward my professional career in public health. I love public health. I couldn't see myself doing anything else outside of stripping. No, but I love public health. I love
Bands will make her
everything
dance.
about it.
Bands will make her dance.
You heard it here first. My part-time job. No, but no, honestly, like I love public health. I love everything about it, and I really value what it comes with educating communities, building capacity, building advocacy, having people change health behaviors from a positive to a negative to a positive. I mean, all those experiences are so fruitful for me. But in case y'all didn't know out there, sis can kind of sing and write a little bit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got some chops too. And I've been wanting to really push that forward, but always felt like, well, Chris, you're not really going to be a singer. I mean, if you're going to be a writer, it's probably going to be writing a policy memo for like some public health agency. So
Mm-hmm.
just get used to it, sis. This is not the path for you. And I remember kind of telling you about those things, and you were like, well, where's the middle? Like, how can you sing about public health? I don't know, but like, you were always kind of like
Please
talking to me about
go
like you can
and wash
find
your
ways.
hands. Oh
Wash your
no.
hands, scrub them good, good, good. Like,
Hey, you might
like I'm
kids
trying
stuff.
to
You might
figure
could
out.
slap in kids like
No, that's what I was thinking. Like, come on, kids. Like, anyway, I mean, I could probably go into different avenues, but yeah, finding that fork in the road of where I can blend those creative sparks within me, but also the professional mechanisms of public health within me. So, um, I don't know. Needless to say, I'm still navigating that, to be honest. I mean, uh, I think just I remember I remember performing so much when I was younger. It was like this freedom. Like even in
Mm-hmm.
high school, every poetry contest, I'll be the first in line. Like every, the any like play or any
Mm-hmm.
theater or any type thing where I could sing or do art, I was in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
being a youngin, and I don't know what I mean. I wouldn't say I don't know what happened because it's still within me. I just think that adulthood kind of puts you in this like mesh of, oh, I got to do the adult thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to work, I got to pay bills, I got to buy houses, I got to be great, I got to,
Yeah.
and then it's like, but what about just being free?
Mm-hmm.
What about just doing things you love to do? What about
Yeah.
just excluding all boundaries and just going for it? What happened to that? What happened to the child within me that was just so uh purposeful and just doing her own thing?
Mm-hmm.
So I know she's still inside, but she's like a little minion. She's like dancing, like kind of like, girl, you can do it. Girl, you can do it. And I'm
Right.
like, girl, shut up. I got these papers to write. But no, I'm trying to actually listen to her more
Mm-hmm.
and experiment with that creative nature within me. Because I know I mean, anytime I do any type of artistic project, people are always like, girl, I'm sick of you. Like, why aren't you doing this more? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sick of me too. Okay.
Right.
Let us vent. I'm sick of me
Let us
too.
fin.
Like,
No, that's
so
funny. That's
yeah,
funny.
I want to explore that space, but I'm still trying to navigate how.
Right. And that's funny that you mentioned too,
Yeah.
like in high school you would be like one of the first ones to pop up for like poetry contests or theater stuff, because for me I wasn't popping up. That's, in high school at least, like I wasn't raising my hand to be in the front and center at least, you know what I'm saying? I was football was my life, I also was really focused on trying to get to college, but like I would do my music, I would love to do. I was really passionate about it, but I was like very low key and like shy to show it. And I guess once I
Mm-hmm.
became an adult, for me, I felt more free. Obviously, being in a new space, but I was able to just go at it, and give it that shot, do some poetry, make some beats, link up with artists, and like kind of begin that process. Um, so no, I just wanted to highlight that, interesting like little parallel, because like you got to experience a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
getting up on stage and like the nerves and all that stuff, fairly early. So you got a taste of it. So I feel like going into your career path, you at least know like what that life and what that feeling feels like. So it's something that probably never really goes away, and you'll definitely be able to like create and continue, like ideas are going to continue to flow. I see you got a mic and stuff now, so it's looking real official over there. It look like, someone is tapping into
Yes.
like that creative space. And that's just what it's about. Once you start spending money on it, the hobby, then it becomes something where it's like, all right, well, I got to record something because this mic was however much it was. And it's
And
just
that's on
all
period.com.
for
Okay.
real. Yep, and it's all just baby steps and getting into it. I do want to transition real quick too to the Love event and talk about some of the previous ones in the past, and see if
Yeah.
you have any favorites that you either attended, and you may not remember what year it was, but if you do, amazing. If not, maybe some favorite performers that you've seen come through some of our Love shows.
You know, honestly, all the performers are really good. Outside of the performers, though, I know I'm always going back to you, but it's because I know you so well.
Yeah.
I remember Damo, okay, at the
Hmm.
O, y'all, because I don't know who this Dom man is, but I remember you planning for these events. I
Yeah.
remember you like talking about how you wanted to even create a love event, and how it was, kind of a play on words of like love being spread of love, but really venting about
Yeah.
anything. And that's a part of love, right? Is loving yourself enough to really tell your story. And I think that specifically sticks out in my mind, uh outside of like the amazing performances that were actually going on during the event, but just
Right.
the process that you had behind creating what the love event is. I think as artists and as creators, sometimes we see all these events on Instagram and like, go to my event, go to my conference, go to my show, click my link. But people don't realize the time, the energy, and the effort that it takes to even get to that point. Right. And I think that, you being uh so good at what you do and knowing how to kind of process things from start to finish, I think that really benefited you in the long run because you were able to cultivate this culture of love outside of just the event, like actually venting through either your Instagram or your stories or your blogs and posts or your website. Like I think the culture of love kind of like streamlined throughout a lot of the stuff you did. So shout out to you on that because I think that that's really cool, for somebody to have an idea and for it to be seen all these years. Like love has been what, around 3 years now?
Oh no, this is 7.
Three
This
plus
is
four. Three
3 plus.
plus four
Yeah.
equals 7.
Mm-hmm.
7 is the greatest number in the world. Yes, 7. 7 years. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, 2015. It all kicked off.
2015.
But yeah, sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like that. It'll just be a couple years, and then you look back and it's like, man, it's been 7 whole ones. But yeah,
Yes.
no, that was in the essence of it. Just with the whole love thing and let us vent, and just wanted to really create a platform for people to come out and be able to express. No matter what it was. There's a time period where we had like a streak of like events that feature erotic poetry. There were people coming out just talking about relationship stuff. There are people just coming out to talk about life, their jobs, how much they love nature. It's just really a space where people can be themselves and the audience can kind of get that uncut, just real poetic expression. Though we did at times grow to eventually feature like musicians and rappers, singers, and stuff like that. People began to be able to just kind of make that love experience their own. So no, I appreciate you highlighting that. Obviously, this is something near and dear to us because it was something that we made here in Arizona, and people began to kind of love us for it, and we love the area that we in. So I do want to switch up here and see what kind of shows you've been watching during the quarantine. I don't want to take up too much interview time here, but I want to make sure I hit some of the important questions. People want to know what you're watching.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. Okay, my friends just realized that about me, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't really watch TV.
Mm.
Did you really know that about me? Like when
No,
we're
I guess
together, do you
not.
ever see me saying like, "Man, let me see that show"? Like I don't
Nah, bro,
really
because you are TV, honestly. Like,
look in the mirror, click,
you
power
feel me?
on,
Just
let's
be up
get it.
there
Like
entertaining your damn self, for sure. For sure. That makes absolute sense. I never thought about it until this moment.
no, that doesn't make sense the way you said it. Okay, I don't want to hear your mouth. Anyway, I think it makes sense in like I'm just not okay. I have a short attention span, y'all. Like I know we say it as kids, like I can't pay attention. No, I
Right.
really feel like after 30 minutes, if it doesn't hook me, it's a no for me. So most of these shows kind of like drag, dog. Like half the times I don't even know the characters. Half the times I don't know what's going on. And maybe it's because my mind is kind of spacey and not really focused on the story of the series. But I will say that I do appreciate documentaries. And
Mm.
so one of the documentaries on Netflix was the it, I think it was the social experiment, but they talked about how our use of cell phones, we become hypersensitive to everything around us. I think it's
Mm.
called the social experiment, but
Okay.
it was talking about like cell phone use and just media and how like how we could be talking about wine bottles right now and I'm
Mm.
on Instagram right now and freaking Stella and Pinot and all these like Cabernets, they're showing up on my phone like for
Right.
what? Like
Yeah.
they literally are following and tracking our likes and what our interests and what we do and
Mm.
creating ads, creating campaigns, creating like all kinds of stuff to where we're always glued in. And to me, that was crazy
Mm-hmm.
to to I like watch and see how like Big Brother is a real thing. Like, what is this? I can't
Mm-hmm.
even go on my phone and type and talk about like hair without weaves popping up all on my timeline. Like, for what?
Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. Nah, no, I definitely know what you mean.
No,
It definitely
really.
happens to us a lot too. Jada and I was talking about something earlier, and something popped up on her phone about just something that we often talk about. You know, we often joke
Mm-hmm.
about that. But was that a Netflix show, or where
It
would you
was a
see that on?
Netflix show. Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, that's
Yes, so
tight. That's
everybody
tight.
tune in. It was pretty good. There's a lot of good documentaries, I think, on Netflix. I'll probably watch documentaries more than anything.
It's like,
So
fool, what I give you my password for if you ain't watching nothing on there?
don't be exposing me now. Quiet, quiet.
Shit.
I do appreciate you.
No, no, no. What about music then? What have you been listening to, or what was like some songs that stood out for you in 2020, or even some stuff that you're listening to currently? You know, that's been released.
Uh, Jasmine's Hotels. I know, that's kind of been a conversation starter with a lot of people, but oh man, like
Yeah, that's really good.
I I'm so happy she's back. Like, where was
Yeah.
sis? Like, she was giving me anxiety. Like, come on out of the closet, like the music closet, because I was like, where are
Mm-hmm.
you at?
Right.
No, but I know that she was also experiencing a lot of trauma with an abusive relationship too. So
Mm.
just to think about like the powerhouse that she kind of came out of and creating such a really good album. And I love the storytelling pieces of albums. That's like a big part of why I liked actually your album.
Oh, late night radio.
Late night radio. Yeah, because it had like storytelling elements. And I love albums like that. So Jasmine really hit the nail on that one. Um
Damn, I'm up there with the
Also,
Jasmine Sullivans of the world. You feel me? Mama,
woo,
I made it.
let's not get too crazy. But no, you definitely you definitely
Okay, thanks for
are
bringing me back down to earth.
I I have to. Who else will, child? Okay. But no, I feel like you definitely are hitting the nail on like how storytelling and music really play a really good role together.
Hmm.
What else have I been listening to? I've been listening to a lot of random stuff. You making me want to go in my Spotify because I've been liking a lot of different songs. But actually, did Kaylani's album did come out in 2020. So that was a fire album. I loved most of her songs on that album. Who else who else have I been listening to? I'm literally looking through my like songs because I've been
Hmm.
liking like hella people. Um I actually been listening to a lot of Giveon too. I love his voice.
Mm.
It's like soulful. It's like in my spirit.
Right.
I love artists like that. They're just speaking to me.
Right. Okay.
Um Ooh, so Ping Black Girls is a really good song. Actually, I just found out about it, so you guys should definitely check that out. It's by Nenny. And it's a really cool song. I forget how to pronounce her name. I want to say Georgia Smith. It's like
Mm.
Gorja,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jorja.
yeah. Georgia Smith
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like
So
the
she's on
UK.
that song as well.
Okay, she got a nice voice. And what was the
Right.
song called?
It
Pink.
was called Ping Black Girls. So
Oh,
they're
Ping.
British. So
Ping.
Peng.
Oh, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so they're British, right? So they're more talking about like the black experience from like our afros to our pedicure toes to just the black experience for a
Can make
woman
a
in
pretty
general.
pass. I was about to start rapping Nelly in there. My bad.
Mm,
Once you start,
mm.
you start listing off
I'm like,
cornrows, pedicure toes.
oh, oh yes, that actually is my jam. But can we discuss how the versus battles have been truly, honestly, truly, have been getting me through quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Best one in my mind was Lil Jon and T Pain. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. That's the one that stood out to me the most because they are absolutely foolish. They're ridiculous individuals, and they came together to be more ridiculous. I don't understand. Like, it's
Nah, I
which
don't
one
know
was your
about that one.
favorite?
My favorite, it would have to be Gucci and Jeezy,
No,
or
because
Beanie
Gucci had this.
Man and Bounty
Gucci was
Killer,
in the
because the
side eyes
police
the whole
came. I
time.
know that's what
No.
was funny. Is just watching the energy between two people. Sure, we can listen to the music, but the way the testosterone and the energy was working in that room, it's just funny to watch people.
Okay, we're gonna talk about energy. Brandy and Monica's
Oh
energy,
no, for
though.
sure, for sure.
I was like, is the boy still yours or nah?
Right,
Because
right.
y'all got some beef.
Right, right. Nah. No, a good one though that wasn't full of like negative energy was like Snoop and DMX. Like they look like they were just
Oh
having a
yeah.
good old time. I mean, Snoop is always a good time, but like they just look like they were kicking it, you know.
Right. Even Too Short and E40, that was like pretty good. I
Hell
was
yeah.
enjoying myself for sure, taking it back to like all the good times in college. Like that was just a good nostalgic moment. But no, honestly, the versus battles have really been bringing me back into just honestly a creative space too, because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, we had some hitters back then, like when they were starting to play all their old stuff. And I think Erica's and Jill's really healed me too.
Mm-hmm.
That one was like chakras opening all over the place. I'm like, what is this?
Right. I know some of the
But
earlier
no.
people want to redo theirs, you know, back before they had the fancy Apple Music deal. You know, they were just playing it from their phone.
No, really, no, really, like
Jack
it's
was like
crazy.
Jagged Edge and 112 or something. They was all
Oh, I'm like, can somebody help them with their Wi-Fi service? What is
oh
this?
man, oh man, you know, things come and they grow, and that was something
Man,
that was
that
dope.
was
It came into
something.
the culture, and you know, they got it together. Though it's definitely been a staple. It's been something that people can count on, and you know, it's fun watching the comments go up of who should be going next, and
Right.
you know
Who do
who
you think
people
should be
are looking
going next? I
forward
have some
to.
ideas, but who do you think should be up?
Man, I don't know. That's pretty tough.
Okay, what do you think about Mario and Sammy? Now, when I said this to people, they were like, Mario would easily win that. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
okay,
I'm on that. I'm gonna braid my hair. You feel me? Back in the hood, I'm feeling good. No worries or no
okay.
shame, baby. Use your hands to make me feel. Nah,
Take away the nah,
I
dead
guess I
ass
don't
like
know enough
that.
Sammy songs, but I know he got I like the way you move. You know, just run that back a couple times,
Wait, what?
right?
I like.
It's back when
I
he had a
think.
kid voice. I like the way you.
Oh yes. Why was I thinking of? I like the way you. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh,
Outcast,
Outcast,
outcast.
Outcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no. Honestly, they were talking about who's another two-man group. They were talking about pinning Outcast with
Oh,
somebody,
well,
but
like the Bone Thugs or something.
maybe, yeah, I don't know what
That'll
they
be
there was.
rough.
That would be rough, right? Like,
Bone,
I love
bone, bone,
Outcast though.
bone. Yeah, nah, Outcast will eat them niggas up.
Bow, bow, bow. Oh my god,
For
that's hilarious.
sure.
But no, the verses was lit. Like, definitely a quarantine favorite.
Definitely, definitely. All right. Well, as we wrap up this interview here, what are some words that you? Well, no. First, before we wrap, I want to do ask you one last thing. What
Mm.
was your inspiration behind the poem? So you did submit a poem for our Love Poetry
Yeah.
contest, and we got the voting open from the 10th to the 21st. So people can go to imrootco.com/ love poetry, LUV poetry, and they can vote for your poem. But let us know real quick, just a little bit about the inspiration behind that poem.
Yeah. So please vote for me. Please vote for me. No, I feel like I'm back in high school when they voted me for prom queen. Like, please vote for me, running for prom queen.
Feel
No,
me? Get the wave and shit.
but no, so interestingly enough, so the poem is called Forgotten. And I was talking to one of my really good friends back in high school, and she lives in Berlin now. And she was talking about, we were kind of catching up. We were going through like the whole timeline because I haven't seen her in probably like at least 6 years. So we were
Mm.
kind of going through the timeline of just like, girl, what happened? And this and that and the third. And she was telling me but just about her dating experience. And she's a beautiful Ethiopian woman. And she was telling me, like, she's dating German men, of course, because she lives in Germany. She lives in
Mm-hmm.
Berlin. But I was like, girl, I don't know. Like, black men just, they make my soul cry. They make my heart sing. They make my blood, run. Like, black men are in. She was like, yeah, I feel you. But, sometimes I just feel like they don't see us the way that I had experiences out here in Berlin. Like, these German men, I don't have to work as hard or I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to. She was just like, I don't have to have this whole like, I'm a strong black woman that every black man loves and adores. Like, I don't have to put on this image for them to love me. I can
Mm-hmm.
just be myself. And I was like, damn, sis,
Yeah, that's rough.
right. Like, you could just be, and they just loving all you. They loving that beautiful hair, they loving that skin, they just loving you. And
Mm-hmm.
and we could, and I was kind of like trying to test her. I'm like, you sure they ain't trying to fetishize you? Because we don't need none of those problems. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like honestly, they just genuinely want to understand who I am, want to understand my journey, want to understand my culture, want to understand just who I am as a person, and not try to dictate who they think I am because of like images of black women, right? Or stories of black women or black
Mm-hmm.
women that they've, like maybe seen or talked to. They see me as an individual. And I was like, damn, that must be a beautiful experience. Because not that I don't experience that, I just feel like, in the poem I talked a lot about how, black men, where are you hiding? Where is your inner yearning for black women? Where did that go? When I think of like 90s music and how Jodeci and Genuine were literally crying on the mic for our attention, like, girl, I wanna do you all night. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can tell me that the 90s did not create a whole multitude of black men loving black women. I mean, from the music to the culture, it was just different. And so, and I think even going to the University of Arizona for my master's and looking at all these black male tokens, as growing, being an AZ, these black male tokens, and these white girls kind of like, parading along behind them, like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, he plays basketball. Like, I love him. And,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. Like, love who you love. Like, I'm all about loving truly who you love. But when it comes to, I love them because of certain things they have or certain um who I think they are, that's when I have a problem with that, because it's not genuine. Love should always come from within. Love should always be authentic and genuine.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, when she was telling me that story, it just really kind of stirred something in me to write about it. Like, write how black women, we just want to be seen. We don't want to be looped into this group of black women from your past. We don't want to be looped into your mama and auntie and them. We don't want to be looped into, the girls that are bouncing it on the gram. And shout out to all the bouncers, we love to see it. But I mean, we just want to be.
Yeah.
I am my own black woman. I am my own experience. I am my own personality. I am my own characteristics. And I don't think I've ever been a black woman to want to fit into what a black woman mold is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have strength. Yes, I have resilience. Yes, I have stride. Yes, I have talent. Yes, I have grace. But I don't know if I can put that all into because of me being a black woman. There's a lot of factors of why I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
God created me. My parents, my parents. I mean, if you met my mom and my dad, you could see why I am the way I am. My experiences, being an Inglewood baby, like all these different things cultivated a lot of who I am. Being black was the catalyst for that, right? Being black was just a natural concept of me being born into blackness.
Mm-hmm.
But my experiences and everything around it, there were so many other factors that kind of design my identity. And I don't want to be looped into what most black men think about black women.
Right.
And so essentially the poem just kind of described, like, don't forget about us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we never forget about you. We
Mm-hmm.
love you. We were there when George Floyd was getting, persecuted on national TV. We were there for you when, Rodney King was being stomped out in the 90s. We were there for you like this whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Don't
like
don't do us
where
though too much. You feel me? This whole monolith thing. I am a black man you talking to over here, and I love black women dearly. So I'm not even of the ilk of people that fit that mold. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
and let
Obviously,
me no.
yeah.
Let
Clear
me
it
be
up. 'Cause-
clear. I love me some black men all day, every day. My man will be black. My children will be of black soils. Yes. But I also think
we
that
we love us
there's,
some black women. You know,
y'all
there's
do.
there's
I will
obviously
say
gonna
y'all
be
do.
it's the
I think
world.
it's
It's gonna be a percentage of people who don't. There's a percentage of people who
true.
want what they want. It's a
Yes.
percentage of people who are gonna be impacted because they feel like the guy that they didn't get, who got somebody else, represents black men for them. So some guy
Right.
didn't do somebody right, and now it's all black men don't love black women. Now that nigga didn't love a black woman. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like
Okay,
isolate
but can we
those.
talk about this though? Like real quick. When
Yeah.
we say that you guys love us though, what does that mean action wise? Right? I've had a lot of black men not too many. Let me not shout. I love black men. Let me just emphasize that because I don't want it
Right.
to be a bash
You
fest.
feel? I'm
I
just
love
trying to
all
get clear
people,
about
right?
what we're doing here.
But no, I'm just saying I have seen cases, small cases of black men saying they love black women, but the actions are really confusing. Like, do you love us verbally or do you love us through your character? Like, which one is it? Because I don't know. Like, there's some black men who I'm confused about when they say they love black women, what that really means for them. Because
Mm-hmm.
to me, love is a verb, right? So telling me you love me is a beautiful word of affirmation, but showing me you love me as well is a beautiful pairing. And I think that sometimes, not even black men, we could just say men in general sometimes will use the term love to blanket their character flaws. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, they have to match. Please let them match. And women the same way, right? Women have their shortcomings as well when it comes to that. So I think love, when we talk about it and when we say we love black men, we love black women, let's be action oriented when we say that. Let's really have purpose when we say we love our black men and our black women. Even with black women saying like, I support black women, but yeah, you're bashing the next cis for
Mm-hmm.
doing things that you think are deemed not credible, right? So even with women, when we say we love our black women, we love us. We need to really be action oriented behind that. When we say we love our black men, what does that really mean? We need to
Mm-hmm.
really show black men that, you know what, we're a safe space. We're a
Mm-hmm.
place you can vent, right? We're a
Mm-hmm.
place you can seek refuge. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think moral of the story, the poem was about don't forget about us, but at the same time, let's be action oriented with love because it's
Mm-hmm.
really a verb, truly.
Okay. No, that's a good
I
point
talked
too,
too
and I
much,
feel like
y'all.
it's something that could be adopted into just other ways we live life. Let's say you can use
Mm-hmm.
that mentality for being purposeful behind goals that you want to achieve. You know what I'm saying? You say you want to be a X, Y, and Z, or you want to be this person. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a singer. Whatever the item is. You know what I'm saying? Just let your actions show that as well. Just not every time I hit you up and see how you been, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I've been good. I've been doing stuff. I'm still trying to be that thing. You know what I'm saying? Actually moving towards it is beneficial. So no, that's a very like through all of that, I kind of dug that out. It just really popped out to me because that's an important theme for a lot of people that are just like trying to figure out their place in the world. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they have to ask permission a lot of the
Yeah.
times to do things. Like, can I be myself in this space? Absolutely, you could be yourself.
Yeah.
You just have to be comfortable in your skin. Loving yourself, and just proud of who you are, so that no person's opinion, man, woman, dog, cat, bird, like matters. Because you are who you are, and you're confident in that.
Totally. No. Amen to that. Totally. I think honestly, having purpose and intention is really important when you're navigating spaces of love, spaces of profession, spaces of friendship, spaces of parenting, anything really. You have to have some type of intention around what is this going to mean for me and what is this going to mean for them,
Mm-hmm.
so definitely I think sometimes we forget how character really helps to mold and shape us and our
Mm-hmm.
virtues and values. And if you stand for something, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? So standing for things and knowing who you are within these spaces really just changes the game, honestly.
For sure. It's
Hmm.
like kind of the whole thing behind the I am root. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be the I in it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
focus on yourself, and then go out in the world and make that
Ooh,
change.
I
But as
love
long as you feel good
that.
about who you are, shouldn't be too much trouble. So no, I definitely thank you for hopping in. This has been a much needed conversation for our Love
Yeah.
2021 celebration. This is our first episode of Crucial
Yes.
Dialogue, the podcast we were supposed to start in the 2000s.
Oh my gosh. Crucial with a K, y'all.
Crucial with
K
a
for Chris.
K. That I mean, we were young, but we were visionaries.
Yo,
We finally did it.
visionaries. Now we're
Same,
definitely gonna do it. We're definitely gonna do it. It's
same thing
it's
with the
happening right
music.
now. We're doing it.
Shout out to
Episode
China.
one,
China, she
you know?
introduced us. But once I found out she was a singer, I was like, oh, yeah, we got to do music. And then it took us about 10
Music.
years to make a song.
Anyway, so thank you for allowing me to be on your platform.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Disrespectful.
Send in some blog posts, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely will do that. Thank you for exposing me. I
Yeah, good old
appreciate your
Rooted
time.
Minds
Thank you.
blog. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. Kristi Sprout, everybody.
Thank
Got a lot of shit on my mind tonight, and I know we don't have a long time, so let's not waste it, baby. I'm here to air it out. I'm in my feelings now. You know what I'm talking about. Embrace the pain, then let it out. Said embrace the pain, then let it out.